Hello, how you doing? It's a bit different today. I got a second-hand machine, and I thought, I did have a few little teething problems with it, especially when you buy second-hand machines. People have used it for different things, so I had to do a lot of calibration before I could get to what I wanted to. I mean, this is a Cyclone B, but there's many different names for a very similar machine out there. Okay, it's basically you've got your cylinder side here, and on this side is for your mortise keys. You can buy extra jigs for doing alloy keys and lots of the foreign different sorts of keys as well, and these rotate into different sizes from flat keys to sort of mortise style round keys as well. And on this side again, there's quite a few different uses you can put into those jaws. Anyway, the problem I had was calibration. I was messing with phrases, I couldn't get it. I thought, what's going on? But I've calibrated it now. And I thought, does everybody else out there know how to do that? So we'll go through it. This is a video just for sort of demonstration. The basic key cutting machine. It's not the best key cut machine in the world, but it is a very useful dual key cutting machine. That's why I got it. My old one's getting a bit old now, and I fancied an upgrade. And there's one going half decent, so we'll turn the bugger on. You got a light on here, and you've got a guard for stopping all the swarf. I always wear goggles. I've got to wear my glasses, so I can't be able to see anything anyway, so that's going to protect my eyes. So you got a light here and everything, right? So mortise, what we got then? Let's have a look. Nice simple one. We'll start off with a simple one. We'll do other videos on this, but I know we'll go long. Now this one is particularly it's an ERI Viscount 7 gauge, but the key's not, it's not that great. Let's have a look at it. This is what you're trying to copy. Someone comes in or asks you, you could do with some more of these keys, and you get these worn out keys, so you got to try and copy that. So it's not going to be great, but we're going to have a go, and I'll show you the difference between mortise keys and obviously cylinder keys. Just a really quick basic sort of thing. I'm nowhere near an expert at key cutting, not at all. So we'll set this first up. So basically what you've got on either side of here and here, depending on cylinder or mortise, this is your tracer. So basically you're going to trace the pattern of the key that you want to cut, and you're always going to put the blank where the blade is. Yeah, you don't put that there because you'll ruin your key. So you always make sure it's by the tracer. And the different complete keys. This one's got you can rotate the jaws around for flat and round keys. So we're going to get that. You've got to get them nice in. Make sure they're right in, a nice flat and straight. Now you do get some key cut machines where it actually clamps the actual bow as well. This one doesn't, so we've got to make sure we've got it nice and straight. Get him in there, push him right here, make sure he's sitting in the groove just where it needs to be. It's worth a little bit of tweaking about. Get him where you want him. So here he is now, where it needs to be, nice and straight. Okay, there's your tracing part. Then we'll get blank. You got to try and get the blank is exactly the same as the key you're cutting. You can sort of mod some blanks, but it's got to be the same gauge, so you must check that. The same width and the same height. You can cut them down slightly from one to another, but it's not. It's a tricky thing to do. You can do it though. So it's an ER8. Okay, so it's an ER8 7 gauge blank, the old universal job. Okay, not the original one. So again, on this side with the same sort of thing, we've got to make sure we get him in exactly the same position and make sure he's sitting nice and flush. And we're going to back that off a little bit, make sure he's nice and tight. You don't want him kicking out where you're cutting. So there's our tracer there. So this is a semi-automatic machine. On this one, for this carriage, what we're going to do is on your right side, and then if you wanted to move this carriage over here, you push it in, and then I guess the left side. So it's a semi-automatic one. Okay, there's a big difference of cutting mortise keys than it is cylinder keys, because basically you're pushing against and you're tracing. On the actual mortise keys, always a good advice, instead of watching the actual blank where you're cutting, watch the blade. Okay, now I'm doing this around a camera, around a tripod, so I've got to do this via a sort of a video camera link, but I'm going to try my best. I'll move the microphone up out of the way a little bit because it starts tapping against stuff. So everything's nice and tight. You've got your glasses on, you've got to watch your fingers. Okay, this machine, again, you've got your brush. This up here, it's just voltage. Some people think these are, I don't know why, These are sort of for cutting coded keys. Not on this particular machine, it is just for your voltage. You'll just watch it drop off. It's just to say there's power there, but you've got a light on, it tends to show you that you got power, so I don't really know what's there. Right, so we're going to cut this key. We've got them where we need them. We're going to just quickly check. Now what I do to make sure they're in the right position is we want to check where the actual blade is against, so the blade is rubbing against the side of the key and against the trace, so it's very similar, very similar indeed. So that part there is rubbing against the back. So I'm going to sort of have to go around this tripod a bit. Let's move this over a little bit so we can see a bit better and you can see a little bit better, and we're getting a little bit closer. Right, let's always watch your fingers because this thing will cut your fingers off. Okay, so don't always keep looking at that, look where your fingers are as well. So what we're going to do is fire it up. So you don't see many videos on mortise cutting really. So what we're going to do is do tiny little cuts, and then we're just going to push little cuts. Yeah, we're going to make sure we've got everything we need on this side, and we're going to little cuts, little movements. Well, it's taking a little bit off at a time. Sometimes you go over like that, you just go back a bit and you'll get rid of that little tiny piece. Now be careful, there is a stop in here and you can adjust it, but if someone has been using that machine for something else, I've got to sort of get me around here and not watch it cut right all the way to the machine. You got to make sure you're in the right spot. Okay. Now I know for sure that cut in the middle is nowhere near deep enough, so I'm going to go back over this key in a minute. See that now this stage here is slightly too wide, and it'll only cut exactly what the trace of that key is. We're going to go back. It's a very basic bitting of this one. That's the middle bit there. It needs to be a little bit wider, that one does. Yeah, you can go back across if you think it's not, you've missed a tiny amount off. And that's it. Turn the machine off. You don't want to chop your fingers off. So, right, proving the pudding. Take your key out. Now at this point, let's get this closer. Obviously this looks a hell of a lot better than the original, because it's not as buffed and cuffed and messed about. Okay, a little bit rough, so you got this little brush here. What we're going to do, get the burrs off it. Okay, so are we going to get there? Is it going to work? Of course it does. As smooth as anything. Yeah. So Mortice Key Cutting. Now you can cut them a lot quicker. I was doing it slow just to show you, but now let's have a look when that can go wrong. Okay, so we know how to do it right. Let's go do it wrong now, because you could end up with getting a machine that's completely pants, and you got to be able to adjust it. So what you need to do is get two blanks. We're going to find the buggers. Right, two blanks, and where's my other ERA blank? Right, I'll come back, get two blanks, and I'll show you how you can fault find stuff out in your machine. Back. Let's get rid of that. So that's the original. Okay, a bit battered old girl. And we'll just compare. I know it's a long video, but you know, if you get something out of it, you give it a go. So yeah, we cut a copy of that particular key. It's nice and easy. You get a lot more complicated bit than that, but there you go. You know how to take a little bit off that side as well. So we've got two blanks, nothing on them at all. Okay, I'm going to pop one in one side, make sure it's right in that rock groove where it is, nice and tight. Put the one on the other side, make sure it's nice and tight and straight, best you can get it. So now I've calibrated this machine, but way to tell, let's try it. Wait, see that? You can't see that blade there. Let me see if I can change this camera so you can see what I mean. Obviously it's not going to make any sense to you. Right, the blade there, that big sharpy thingy, don't shove your fingers near it. See, so I'm going to use this brush here. See, it's just brushing the chrome. Yeah, there's an adjustment over here. Let's turn this light off, it's probably not helping you, is it? There's an adjustment over here on the top, and this bar goes in and out off this screw. So let's show you what how it was when I got it. Okay, let's get under this. So we go under that. Now this will adjust it in and out. So we're gonna take it back a little bit. See where it's about there. So not a bit more, take a little bit more. It was the other way. We're sticking far too much out. Try that. So do that. It wasn't. It was not enough set at the same as the other side, so it wasn't cutting properly. So you need to be able to just kiss off. Well, it sounds a bit of a weird word to say. The actual chrome. You've got to get that set so it's actually slightly just kissing into the chrome. And I'll show you. I did some. I was chucking them all on the floor. I did cut some earlier. Where's that? To the original. Yeah, I'll show you. So, the original, I got some original blanks as well, and I thought, oh yeah, that should work. And then, because I didn't calibrate it, I thought, yeah, it'll be fine straight out the factory. It weren't lifting them high enough. Oh, pants, what's up with that? Oh, it should be fine. No one's ever used that side before, but it wasn't, it was out. So, to get around it again, we're going to need to make sure, I'm going to use this brush here, and when I get it and set it so it's just back a little bit. Now it's a bit of a, you don't want it too deep. Look, that sounds a little bit too deep. You've got to get it so it just kisses, and it is a bit of a faff. So you've got to be able to see, it's just, that's not quite enough. It is it's a bit of a faff about. Otherwise, sorry. A little bit more. And you'll be doing this for that's too much. And you've got to get it so it's, get that sort of noise? That's good. Right, we're going to tighten everything up. So where I've set it should stay. I'm going to tighten that back up. And it's the same for the other side. Alright, it's nice and tight. Turn the bugger on. You can hear it. Now all it is doing, and I'll show you. I know it's a long video, but all it is doing is just taking a tiny amount of that chrome off. Now you take it back a little bit, but if it's too far the other way, you're never going to get your cuts right. So again, we'll get the one we used. So we're going to drop him in there. Make sure he's all the way in. Make sure he's nice and straight, nice and tight. I'm going to get the original key. I'm going to drop him in. again, make sure he's bang on where he needs to be. Nice and tight. We're going to tighten them up. Nice and tight. We're going to get that there. We're going to get that in an angle there. So you can see a little bit better. Nice and tight. Right, off we go again. Semi-automatic machine. Right. Now what am I looking at? I'm looking at the actual part that we're cutting. I'm not tracing the key. I'm just doing tiny micro movements. Tiny slices. Drawing back each time. See how far that blade's going? Yeah, not too bad. I'm taking slices off. With practice you get really quick at this. And I know there's loads of videos out there on this, but they don't always explain it quite right. So we're just making sure that we've covered everything. Pop him out. Have a look. Yeah, where's that lot? So that tiny little bit, if you took the chrome off, you're going to get the lifts. If you're not, if you don't, you're not going to get the right calibration. So it is really important you spend a little time examining the levers. ERA is really good for it, so you can see the lifts on the thing. Is it too high, too low? Tiny little adjustments. And as the blade wears, you need to adjust it. So don't always leave it the same. Again, I am no expert at cutting keys, but I'm just sharing with you what I know. And always be careful of your fingers. Right, let's go and see who's won that pinning car mat thing. Supporters, we will do all the key cutting exercises, and we'll show different things. And your comments are going to be greatly received, because some of you have got lots of experience of key cutting, and I'd like to know all about it. I know Gav is an expert at key cutting. He taught me so much a long time ago, but I'm still getting my head around it, and I'm still learning. I always am. Guys, yeah, let's go over there and do the prize draw. We're over here. I've tried my best, guys, but some of my mucky fingers have made it on there. But it's huge, isn't it? It's huge. It's huge. If you're really into pinning my life, you've got some pinning little places to go here. I'm rubbish at pinning locks. Most of my stuff end up on the floor. I lose springs and everything. Yeah, but some of you guys really love it, especially the ones that like to make challenge locks. And you got a good selection of little pinning areas on this mat. It's massive. So who's going to win it? So supporters, again, thank you very much for your support. A little bit behind on my old tool making this week. It's half term, so my daughter's from college, so family always comes first. I shall catch up, I promise. I shall deliver everything I promised I was going to do. And then if you're at the show on Saturday, you might see me. I've got my ticket. If I can make enough time up, I'm going to do it. So, yeah, right. Who is you? Oh, Ben O'Neill. The pinning mat is yours. So, guys, any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. If you like the video, shove the old thumbs up. And I'll speak to you all very soon. And then if I don't see you on Saturday, who knows? Take it easy, guys. Ta-da.